Hello guys, Ultranite here with Ultranite Gaming. Today I'm doing a bit of a special video. I say it's special simply because it's the first time I've done one of these particular types of videos in months now. It's a tactica and a unit review of Sergeant Telion. Brilliant, as you can probably tell by the title. So yeah, I haven't played him a lot. I've played him a lot recently to get to grips with him, but in general I haven't played him a lot. I've never played him in a tournament, and I've never seen him played in a tournament. Although looking at his rules, I can sort of see why you'd play him in a tournament, but I can also see why you wouldn't. I think I've just been unlucky, never been to a game where he's been at. I'm sure he is played at a tournament somewhere. He must be played, but you know, that's my bad luck, I think, guys. A few updates before I start the video. I'm gonna sort of merge this with an update video, just so I don't have to do two videos. So I don't want to spam your subscription feeds. First off, I'm growing a beard now, guys. You can't really see it because of the light, but it's actually really good. It's proper big. I decided to, thought I might as well. I'm nearly over with my exams, so I'm going to start picking up with more videos and so forth, better content. We've now got a camera, so the battery's going to be much better quality, thank God. And yeah, pretty much, guys, we're starting to kick up into overdrive. I would put a bat rep this weekend as a big celebratory bat rep, but unfortunately I'm really busy. I want to say revising, but I have a party on the Saturday, and I also have quite a grueling fitness regime that I attire to, and I'm doing that on Saturday morning, which I normally do on Mondays and Wednesdays, Thursday for. But unfortunately I missed out on Thursdays. Why do I keep saying Thursday? Wednesday, so I'm doing it on the Saturday. Now, and I'll be revising on Sunday and Friday night. Anyway, to the point now, guys. Straight to Sergeant Telion. This video is not about me. Let's get on with it. First off, I'm going to start up by calling what I think is going to happen in the next Codex update, which is coming at the end of summer for Space Marines. So I've been told, when key phase. I think his point cost is going to increase to 75. The reason I say this is because of how good his stats are. You can check the Codex, but his weapon skill is 5, ballistic skill 6, which is sort of what you expect. Strength 4, toughness 4, basic marine stat. 1 wound because he's a character. 4 initiative, basic marine stat. 2 attacks, and leadership 9, armor 4. The reason I say it's going to increase is because his stats are only marginally worse than a captain. Only marginally, like I think he's 1 initiative less, which isn't major. I mean, some captains carry power fists and so forth, so it's not major. He's 2 wounds less and 1 attack less. Now, everything else is his captain stat or better. Now, he also carries a lot of special rules and so forth, and he has a really powerful weapon. All that taken into account for 50 points is pretty good. It is pretty good, isn't it? But I can't see him being kept to that. I think, personally, he is too cheap for what you get by Marine standards. Remember, I say Marine standards because by normal standards I actually find him quite expensive. It's just by Marine standards he's very cheap, especially compared to, say, Cronus, who's more expensive and doesn't do a whole lot more than what Telion does. Last time I checked, I mean, Cronus might be the same price actually. I will double check now so I don't know too much for one when this goes out. Heavy support, Cronus. Yeah, Cronus is 20 points more expensive. And you sort of expect that, even though Cronus is actually probably worse than Telion in many ways. But we're not here to discuss Cronus. Straight to Telion. So yeah, that's his stat line, guys. I expect it to increase in points. Now, so I'm saying I called it. If it does increase with points, I'm calling it right now. Anyway, we'll get on to his special rules. He has a Nature Unknown No Fear, combat tactics, all things you'd expect to see, stealth, acute senses, infiltrate, move through cover, and scout. Now, this may just be me without checking the BRB, big rulebook. Scout and move through cover, I thought those were included. I always thought, without checking obviously, because when I say this is by my knowledge, that doesn't say a whole lot. It just means I haven't checked in a few weeks and not bothered. I always thought if you had Scout as your universal special rule, where you were a Scout unit, you gained move through cover, the same way you can change the Scout move for infiltrate and stuff like that, and you can change infiltrate for outflank, or rather Scout and out and infiltrate for outflank. Maybe just me, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, infiltrate, stealth, all that sort of thing you'd expect to see from Telion. If he does have move through cover, he gives it to the whole unit, I would assume, because he's his character, and there's no point in him having move through cover, no one else having move through cover, unless you give him a camo cloak and you run the squad out of cover and him into cover, but that would make sense in 6th. So, no, then again, no, it would make sense in 6th, it would make more sense in 6th. But these are 5th edition rules, so I don't know. Let's get on to his more prominent rules, however. Eye of Vengeance. This basically means any wound he inflicts can be placed on a character, or rather you get to pick where it goes, so most likely on characters and so forth. If you're targeting a tactical squad or an orc squad, that is extremely useful. More so a tactical, because you can pick off sergeants and so forth. But I think what's key to remember is his Stalker pattern bolter is heavy 2, rending and pinning. Now, it's only 2 shots, so you've got a 1 in 3 chance, if you simplify. Maths coming out there, guys. But yeah, you've got a 1 in 3 chance of you hitting a rend. So that means in 3 shooting phases worth of shooting, you have at least 1 rend 100% of the time, by probability. Now, there's not a lot of characters, or especially independent characters, that have a 3+ or 2+ save that are going to only have 1 wound, if that makes sense. So if I am putting that AP2 hit onto them, that they're actually going to be able to stave off because they have an extra wound, and it's only strength 4, so it's going to be difficult to wound as well. I'm not saying difficult to wound, it's the render roll. But I digress here, I'm getting a bit off track. But I personally think that that's not very good, as in, like, there's not a lot that won't take that on the chin and just say, oh cool, that was all like 3 special rules used on me there and it just took a wound off me. Brilliant. Whereas for 50 points, I don't think that's very useful. But it's nice, you know, against sergeants and tactical squads and stuff like that, single wound models, it's very good. But like I said, against knobs, where it would be very useful, knob power claw or boss pool, which is what knobs I tend to fight carry. If you got 2 wounds on it, both rendered, super useful. Super useful. But that's not very realistic. Voice of Experience is 2nd rule and his final special rule. This is the one that I think's got the most controversy going about it, because I can see that working in a competitive game. I would personally probably use it in a competitive game if I took him, which I probably wouldn't, but if I did, because let me get that, I don't want that beeping again. Because it allows you, basically, I keep stumbling on my words, I'm really sorry about that, guys, I must get really annoying, but there I go again. He basically can take his ballistic skill 6 and give it to a model. Now, ordinarily that's pretty useless, giving it to, let's say, a bolter model or a sniper would be totally useless. But if you give it to a rocket launcher, which pretty much makes the squad 60-point upgrade with him in a rocket launcher, whatever, it gives that rocket launcher ballistic skill 6. So 2+ to hit. That is really useful, super useful for those crack missiles and stuff. But I think for that amount of points, I'd rather have maybe 2 las cannons or a las cannon and 20 points to spare for that sort of point cost, because I think, yeah, you know, you're not as likely to hit, but with that extra strength, when you do hit, you're much more likely to cause a lot of damage to light vehicles such as rhinos and razorbacks and wave serpents and all that sort of stuff. And even flyers are probably better off with the las cannon, because it'd be a 6 to hit. So yeah, I don't see that being uber useful in 6th edition. But in 5th edition, it's been more useful. But I don't think it's very useful in 6th edition because of so many flyers and stuff. But yeah, it's still a nice rule. I don't know whether it's that good. Like, I've got a paintbrush, man. I've been painting, guys. It's one of those rules that it can be really good and it can be really bad. I don't want to be so negative about it. I want you guys to try it, but I also want you to realise that it's not amazing, and I'm not being definite on it because it can go 50-50. It can be game changing. It can be just a useless rule to have for a 50-point upgrade. My personal gut feelings about it, and if we had to go on my personal feelings as a competitive player, I wouldn't take it myself. That's just me. An interesting thing with Scouts, though, is what used to be really good in 5th edition, not sure in 6th edition. I've been told it's not as good in 6th edition, but I'm not sure why. So, don't shoot the messenger. But what I used to do with Scouts is bring a Tech Marine, Sniper Scouts with a rocket launcher, whack them in a building, bolster defence, and then Camo Cloaks, they have a 2-up invulnerable save against shooting, pretty much, a cover save. Only from that was Heavy Flamers would just totally annihilate them. But it used to be, you have to be back in their own deployment to use Blessing of the Omnisaur from the Tech Marine, and so that was never a problem, really. So yeah, that used to be a really good tactic, and with that tactic I can actually see telion being very useful. But in 6th edition now you don't need the Blessing of the Omnisaur, so it's even more useful, so you don't have to bring that Tech Marine, you can just use Night Fighting. So from that point of view, he almost goes a little bit more useful. It's like there's his normal usefulness, and with that ability in play load with him, which is also when I'm going to go into it in a second, as a tactic I would use for him, he sort of becomes slightly more useful, but only marginally. His bolter, I'll go on to just quickly, is AP 5, heavy 2, rending, pinning, strength 4, and has a 36-inch range, so it's pretty much a sniper rifle really, but a slightly higher strength by 1. I know you'll probably go, oh, but sniper rifles have strength X. Well, technically they count as strength 3, or they used to when they used to be able to rend. They counted as strength 3 for the purpose of rending, which is quite funny because I took out a dreadnought before with a sniper rifle, but I digress. So yeah, it's slightly marginally better strength-wise, but the strength X on a sniper rifle is actually better because it means even if the target is strength 10, toughness 10, it still wins on a 4+, whereas he wouldn't be able to wound it. So, meh. But yeah, it's nice. It's an interesting weapon. It's cool. It is cool. I mean, I would rather have that as like a 5-point upgrade to a squad. I think it'd be more interesting and flavourable. Probably wouldn't bring it, but rather than like a flamethrower and a plasma gun to have a stalk bolter put into the squad, I think that'd be so much cooler. And you could easily model it with just the scope you get in the Tactical Squad's box and a bolter. That'd be really interesting. I think that'd be really cool. I don't know. But that's what I think his weapon is pretty mediocre. It's not amazing, but it's interesting. It could annoy your opponent with that pinning rule, especially. Tactics for telion. Like I said, in 5th edition it used to be the old Camo Cloak, Blessing of the Omnisaur, sit back with a rocket and a sniper squad and just hit tanks and stuff, and try to rend the tanks and so forth. You could do quite nicely. You could rend some armoured vehicles, lower armour, 10, 11, sort of were quite easy to rend. But yeah, now I think the tactic's still similar, but just drop the Tech Marine for 100 points, just drop him. Because you don't really need the Blessing of the Omnisaur. It's useful, and I don't know, I'd probably still stick to where I know it's going to work, so I might still bring the Tech Marine, but you don't have to as much with Night Fighting, being more, what I found, like the last 10 competitive games I've played, it's always been bloody Night Fighting first turn, so I just may as well drop the Tech Marine, but it's still an option to bring Tech Marine. I'm just saying I personally would drop him because it's 100 points I could spend somewhere else. Just to go back to his point cost, I personally think he's actually too expensive now, and I can see his point cost going up, so bear that in mind. I don't think you get a lot of bang for your buck for 50 points in a Scout squad. If he was maybe a normal Sergeant upgrade, and he had a 3+ save, then I would, and he was a normal Sergeant for a Tactical squad, then I'd be slightly more, I might bring that. And I know you'd probably think, but then you have to sit back, it's a heavy weapon. Well, if you combat squad a Tactical squad and have the rocket launcher sat back as a heavy weapon, you can then put him in with that squad and therefore have 2 heavy weapons that could do some pinning in and stuff, or you could give his ballistic skill with a rocket launcher. It gives a bit more tactical flavour, I feel, and maybe some more bang for your buck. But yeah, there's not a lot of tactics for him really, because he's not, like I say, he's a 50-point upgrade for a squad. He's not like he's not an independent character, so he doesn't have many tactics you can utilise with him other than sit him with the squad and just give his ballistic skill to a rocket launcher. That's pretty much it, and just target light tanks. I don't know. If you guys can make him work in any other way, or you know a better way of making him work, message me or post a video response. You do that, a few of you asked, you do that by clicking comment, and then it should come up with post a video response, I'm pretty sure, and then you just click that and I'll link your video. Because I'm always happy to help out other gaming communities and stuff. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. It's been quite a long video, a lot longer than I expected. I've tried to be a bit slower. Thank you for watching this. I do appreciate it. And like, subscribe, guys. Thank you very much. Cheers.